Trying, buddy.
Look at that rookies thing.
Oh.
So before we start, just to try to bring some order to this, they're going to open up with opening statements. Then we're going to take some football questions, and after our football questions, we'll answer some stadium questions as well. Dee?
Yeah, first of all, welcome everybody. Glad to see you. I would be remiss if we didn't start out acknowledging what happened yesterday at the NFL headquarters. Our thoughts and prayers are with all the families that have lost their loved ones, and we honor the policemen that also died in the line of duty, and our prayers are with the ones that are injured. So I'm glad to take a few minutes to acknowledge the horrendous acts of that yesterday. Well, welcome to camp. We're always excited to have a new season to get started. We're really excited with our young players and our new coaching staff, and you can see the energy around the building. We're all committed to making this just a tremendous year, so we're glad to be back at camp. And we're also really excited about the new Dome Stadium. A lot of progress has been made. I mean, we started out thinking, what can we do for the fans in this community, and what can we do for Northeast Ohio and for Cleveland? And I think the Dome Stadium is a transformational project that will deliver a world-class experience for our fans and also spur economic growth and conversation on what a great place this is to live. So, Jimmy?
Not a lot to add. I think it is exciting when the players are back. And for those of us who are here most of the year, it's just a much different energy level. I think you can tell we're working hard in camp. It's been hot, which I think is good because it'll be hot during the season. And they battled through that well, 2 straight days in Pat, so this will be a good test for them today. But off to a good start. Certainly hate that Kenny got a little dinged up, but hopefully he'll be back quickly. And I would echo what Dee said. Really excited about Brook Park. Most appreciative of the state of Ohio and all the work they did. Governor DeWine, Speaker Huffman, President of the Senate McCauley, Senate Finance Chair Jerry Serino all did a tremendous job in helping make that happen. And we're excited. I think sometime late this year we'll start moving some dirt. There'll be significant construction starting in the first quarter, and I think now's the time for this community to really work together to create a tremendous situation here in Brook Park, as well as along the riverfront, a re-envisioned lakefront, and potentially an almost new airport. So lots of exciting things going on here in Cleveland, and we're happy to be part of it. And we'll start with any football questions you all have.
Jimmy, the season hasn't even started yet, and the Browns and you are already being linked to Arch Manning. Is this your comment about the buzz, the potential buzz as the season goes along?
Well, Tony, you know you're in the business, and you get paid by how many hits you get, okay? And I think if you know the Manning family, I would bet that, and I don't know Arch at all, okay? I bet he stays in college 2 years, so I don't even think that's worth discussing. So,
Jimmy, back in March you talked about being patient about the quarterback. Does that patience also kind of extend to allowing Kevin the opportunity to, when you find that guy, have the opportunity to work with him?
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Jimmy, what, in terms of wins, what would be a successful season?
Jeff, you really think we're going to answer that? Listen, we got to do better than 3, okay? To put a number on it, I don't think we will ever do that. Everybody, coaches, players, personnel, ownership, all knows that 3 and 14 won't cut it. We've got to do better. I think we'll know what better looks like.
Jimmy, can you address how can you help fans to understand that you guys do care about the health and safety of women? Since you've had 3 guys since last year with domestic violence incidents.
Yeah, great question. Let me say it's extremely frustrating, okay? Obviously, we're not communicating as well as we should, and we take responsibility for that. We talk we have internal resources, we have external resources. We talk about it continually, and it's something that we need to do a better job on. But it is frustrating.
Yeah, it's a big focus for us in the organization. So thanks for asking.
The repeated instance, 3 different players in a year, is that reflective of your team's vetting process?
You know, that's a question I ask. Okay, let's go back and let's look at Keyshawn, let's look at Devin, let's look at Michael Hall. And there was, the best of my knowledge, and we talked about this yesterday with Andrew, there was nothing in any of their backgrounds that showed anything like this.
Have these incidents maybe changed your approach or maybe prompted more resources that you guys are looking into?
Well, I think whenever you're not successful, you got to take a step back and say, what can we do better? Okay, if you'd asked me a month ago, I would say, no, we're all over it. We talk about it continually. We've had outside speakers, inside speakers. We talk about it a lot, but clearly we need to look to see what else we can do. It's not acceptable.
Do you expect Quinshon Judkins to eventually sign and play for you?
I do, but that's, you know, we all understand due process of law, and the law does not move quickly. But yes, we're cautiously optimistic.
Have you had any contact with Quinshon in the last month?
No.
We haven't talked to you since the draft. So can you explain why the Browns felt the need to draft Shador after drafting a quarterback in the 3rd round and adding 2 guys?
Well, I think that's really more of an Andrew question, okay? But I think, what was that pick, 146? We thought he was good value at 146.
Jimmy, there's been kind of like a national narrative that you were the person who forced the Shador pick, or maybe it was people have called it the owner pick. Well, what would you say to that?
Yeah, listen, we have good process, okay? And if you'd have told me, let's see, we picked him on Saturday, right? Friday night driving home, y'all are going to pick Shador, I would say that's not happening. But we had a conversation early that morning, and then we had a conversation later that day. I think we had the right people involved in the conversation. At the end of the day, that's Andrew Berry's call. Andrew made the call to pick Shador. Just like who's going to start or what play we're going to call is Kevin's call. But that's Andrew's call. He made the call.
You obviously signed off on the trade ahead of the draft.
Correct.
What was that a tough sell deal or an easy sell?
Those are hard decisions. Listen, Travis Hunter is a special football player, and I do think he can play both ways, and I think he'll do well. He's also a great kid. I mean, not a good, but a great kid. So we were locked in on that, and then the opportunity came up, and you go back 3 places, and we thought there were really good players, and we think we got a really good one in Mason, and then to add really almost a first-round pick with the 36th pick, and to have a number 1 next year, we just thought was too good to pass up. Time will tell whether we did the right thing or not.
Jimmy, last time we talked to you at the owners' meetings, you delivered the quote heard around the NFL that Deshaun was a big swing and a miss, and he's here, he's on PUP, and do you see a world in which he ever can play football for you guys again?
I think it's premature. I don't think anything's changed on the Deshaun situation since we were together in March. I will say this, he's working hard on his rehab, and that's our focus, is to get him well and healthy, and then we'll make decisions after that.
What have you learned about building a team since you bought one?
You think doesn't look like very much. No, I say it's hard, and you make mistakes, and the business world we come in, you can hire anytime you want to, okay? There's no seasonal, there's no draft, and so you can build a team over a period of time, almost at free. There's no draft, there's no free agency, there are no controls, so it's obviously not easy. We made the decision last year to take a step back after last year's disaster and looking at our roster and knowing that we needed a quarterback to do this over a 2 or 3 year period. It's too early to say, but we like our rookie group. We'll know a lot more, after we play 2 or 3 exhibition games and the young guys get to play a lot. But we like the group, and particularly if Q can come back, we like it a lot.
Jimmy, just with 4 quarterbacks battling it out, I know Kenny's hurt now, but it's so rare to see this many quarterbacks competing for a starting job on a team. Just how do you think Kevin and Andrew and everyone has sort of handled that in the early portion of camp?
Really well, and that was a concern we had. Like, how do you make sure everybody gets enough plays, enough looks, et cetera? And I hate it for Kenny because he played really well the 2 or 3 days before he got hurt, and there's nobody that wants to be part of the team more than Kenny. He's working hard, and I know he'll get back quickly, but I think so far they've handled it well. And something that Kevin and Andrew talk about weekly. Here's the plan for this week. And I think going to Carolina and scrimmaging and then playing, and then we're going to Philly and have 2 days of scrimmages and then playing. The young guys will get a lot of looks, as will the veterans in the scrimmages. So we'll know a lot more the next couple of weeks.
I know you said it's Kevin's decision who plays, but organizationally, do you think it's important? Do you talk about we need to see these rookies in game situation before you have 2 first-round picks in 2026?
Absolutely. So, but I mean, that's Kevin is aware of that. He knows how important quarterback is, and he and Andrew talk about those kind of things all the time. I mean, it's a daily, ongoing conversation.
People always talk about patience as an organizational value. What does that look like? What does patience look like from your position?
Well, I think it's what we've just talked about. We realized that when we went 3-14, there was great uncertainty at quarterback. You probably weren't going to go 14-3, so let's try to build a team the right way. And I'm repeating myself, and it's premature, but I like the guys we picked. Okay, and time will tell how good they are. But Mason, Carson, Fannin, Shador, Dillon, etc. look like Dylan Sampson look like not only really good players but really good people. And I'll say this for the 2 quarterbacks coming in, and I know everybody has a vision of Shador, but he's come in the building and worked hard, kept his head down, and done what he's supposed to do, as has Dylan, which is no surprise for either of them.
Jimmy, how do you feel about how this organization has wrapped around the developmental part, getting guys ready, the depth piece?
Yeah, that's a great question, and that's the challenge in sports, because if you're head coach, you're charged with winning every week, but you also want to develop young players. And I think Kevin has this period after, I think he calls it the hungry dog period. I might be wrong about that, but after practice where it might be 6 plays, might be 10 plays that they get plays in or extra work. And I think that's really important to develop young guys, because we saw it with 2 or 3 quarterbacks. Not everybody, particularly a quarterback, makes it the first year or 2. And this is a big jump going from college to NFL, whether you're a quarterback or not. So I think we're doing a good job there, but time will tell.
Anything else football-wise?
Jimmy, just kind of going back, you mentioned that 2 to 3 year window and kind of player development. Is there kind of an understanding that maybe this might take time for you guys to get back to?
Yeah, we talk about it openly. Now, could we take a big jump in 1 year? Yes, but we talk about we're not going to panic. We're going to draft good players. We're going to build through the draft. And next year we have 9 picks, including 2 ones. So that should help us. I think you have to realize that we went 3 years with no ones, and I think at least one of those years we didn't have a 2, and maybe 2 of those years, and that hurts you roster-wise. I mean, it just does. And the players that are available in the first round, the chances of them being successful are way better than second, and second's better than third, etc. So we're going to continue to stockpile those draft picks.
With that type of philosophy,
That to get your message across to them that this is a building process, because you know how loyal they are and how frustrated.
Well, listen, we're frustrated too, and we share the fans' pain, okay? And Dee says this all the time. We're stewards of this franchise, and we need to do a better job. And we want to win for a lot of different reasons. The main reason we want to win is for our fans. They really do. We have great fans.
Mary Kay?
with that type of philosophy of sort of a little bit of a patient attitude for this season, what does that mean for Kevin Stefanski? Because people are already asking me if he's on the hot seat this year.
Yeah, and listen, I don't. We talk to you all fairly frequently, and we're very supportive of Kevin and Andrew. Now, do they need to do better? Yeah, but so do Dee and I. You know what I mean? And these are high pressure jobs they have, but we really like them in their roles as coach and GM, and we really like them as people. Mm-hmm. And I say this all the time. They're 38 and 42 years old.
How much has that patient approach, how much have you guys kind of talked about your history owning the team? Just how much have you kind of learned that?
The hard way? Yeah, I think we did a poor job early on, and hopefully we're doing a better job now. And listen, we talk about it organizationally. This isn't just ownership, but we talk about it all Andrew's staff, all Kevin's staff. Everybody is aware of the plan, and that's how good teams work together.
All right, we'll take some stadium questions now.
So, Jimmy and Dee, what can you tell us about the last $600 million you've said you needed for the dome? The county says it won't pay. Where will that money come from? Do you know yet?
Yeah, really good question, Ed. First of all, most appreciative of the state of Ohio, as we said earlier. What we said all along is we hoped there was $600 million available locally. I think through Brook Park and the mechanisms we put in place, that's 300, so that leaves you 300 short. What I would say this big picture, and we never, I know it frustrates you all, we never want to front run the people, and so with the state of Ohio, we never talk publicly about how things might get financed. And by the way, our plan isn't what they used to come up with the $600 million. I don't want to do the same thing with the county. What I would say is now is the time to work together. Maybe it doesn't work out with the county, but now's the time to sit down and see if we can't work together. This is an important project. I don't think many other entities are spending $2 billion plus in this community.
And we are located in the county, so we will be working with the county.
And the mayor of Cleveland has said that he doesn't want his lakefront left without getting anything. Have you reached out to the mayor? And
Yeah, I mean, I think we started with the vision of the lakefront a long time ago, and we believe strongly that the lakefront needs to be developed. I feel like we have put a lot of input and energy into what that vision could be. So we have not had further conversations recently, but we care about this community so deeply, and I think the lakefront is a really important part of that.
How confident are you that you'll be able to make the Brook Park project happen at this point?
Like 99.9.
No, we're very confident and very excited about it.
I mean, we can't be more confident. Let me say, these projects are really hard. Okay, and the state's a hurdle. There's other hurdles. You got to work with DOT and rapid transit. You got to get your financing. You got to control costs. These are big, complicated projects. This is either the second or largest project in the state of Ohio history. So this is a complicated project. There's stuff going on. It's 3.5 years till the stadium opens, and we will have to work hard every day to get everything to come together.
What would you think groundbreaking would be?
Sometime next year.
Yeah.
So like February next year?
We're hoping sometime next year.
Yeah, that's fair.
So what do you make 9.9 on this? To get to that groundbreaking early next year, what in your mind is the timetable to know one way or the other whether the county's going to be part of this, whether this authority is going to be set up in Brook Park?
Let me say this.
What's the timetable to get to that groundbreaking?
Yeah, so we're going to have the groundbreaking regardless, okay? Let me say this, and I try to be very respectful of everybody. What we said is we can do the project without the county, okay? I think it's best if the county and HSG work together, okay? And I won't say anything more than that. I just think it's helpful in this community to work with the city, to work with the county, and to work with the other sports teams.
Jimmy, indeed, one of the chief points that the opposition to the Brook Park project kept making was that it would harm downtown Cleveland. Obviously, there's big plans for the riverfront, now the lakefront opening up. Just from your perspective, how confident are you that this region can support all three major developments and for them to be successful?
Yeah, they're all three very different. And we believe in Cleveland. We believe in a growth mindset. We believe in economic development. And we believe that this could be one of the greatest communities out there. But you have to have that vision, and you have to have that growth mindset. And we believe that we can take care of our fans and provide economic development by doing the Brook Park project.
You're talking about.
Let me just say one more thing. Excuse me. I think of them as 4 different projects. Okay. The riverfront project that Bedrock's doing is already underway, right? We got a good start with their practice facility and the clinic facility, okay? That's probably a 15, 20-year project, okay? The lakefront, due to the fact that we're going to be playing there through 28, probably, and you have to get the infrastructure in place, doesn't start until 29 or 30, which is, basically 5 years from now, okay? Our project will start late this fall, early next year, okay? And the airport will start about that same time, too. So you'll have going on in Brook Park and the airport. That'll happen simultaneously. We're open in 29. They're supposed to be open in 31, okay? Bedrock is, I don't want to say think of it as running a marathon, will be ongoing for the next 15 years. The lakefront will start in 5 years. So it's not like all 4 of them are starting at the same time. Now, here again, those are complicated, not easy projects. I would say one of the things is think about being additive like, let's try to add to the pie. That's what growing successful communities do. Let's try to add to the pie. And that's what I think we're all trying to do. And hopefully that'll happen if we will work together.
Yeah, we can write a great story for Cleveland that people from everywhere will look to what Cleveland's doing and how exciting it is with all these projects. So that's the story that really needs to come out.
You're
Because you
talking
guys are
about
so,
3.5 years to build a stadium, which isn't that much longer than it took to build the current one, which I know people have described as hastily built. So what's your confidence level that you're going to be able to build a quality product on that timeline?
Really high. Really
Why?
high. Well, I would say this. I
Like
don't
our
know if it
team.
was hastily built or hastily designed, but I think common sense would dictate you would not have 2/3 of your seats in the upper deck and 1/3 in the lower deck. So, and remember, we've been working on this. We started working, help me out, Dee or Peter, when did we start working on
5
stadium
years?
plans?
2017, 16.
Yeah.
And we're seriously working on stadium plans 3 or 4 years ago, so it didn't just all come together, right? So we've been working on it, and we're continually working to refine it.
Jimmy,
How much of a concern is the legal? You know, we have these 2 lawsuits hanging over everything. How much of a concern is the legal fight that you're still having to do here?
You know, the state would need to comment on the unclaimed funds.
Oh, I don't mean the unclaimed funds. I'm talking about like the city.
Yeah, listen, I'm not an attorney, but I don't think the intention was to keep a team from moving 12 miles to live up to the lease they're in and to contribute $2 to $3 billion to community. I don't think that's what the Modell Law was for. We're cautious that we can cautiously optimistic we can work things out with the city.
Jimmy, with you guys being so busy with your project here and with the stadium, what do you think your involvement will be with the lakefront when it comes time to do that? Are you guys going to be, what will your role be?
We don't know that because we haven't been involved in the conversations of what they're planning on doing. But, you know, obviously we care about Cleveland and we definitely want to see the lakefront done.
Are you estimated capacity in your stadium is 65?
65, 66 with a room to go to 68 to 70. I don't know about that. I think what the commissioner said when he was here is, or maybe it was when we were in Columbus, I can't remember, is listen, the stadium is going to be Super Bowl ready. The question is, does the community have enough resources, hotels, etc., to support a Super Bowl? And listen, I think Nashville will get a Super Bowl in the next 4 or 5 years. If you'd asked me 10 years ago, would Nashville get a Super Bowl, I'd said no. So we don't rule out anything there.
Would you guys be more willing to get involved in that lakefront project if the county, well, government said, yeah, I think we should invest this $300 million?
We're happy to sit down and talk with anybody, Jeff, that wants to figure out how to work together and move the community forward.
As part of the lakefront, are you willing or contemplating contributing cash either up front or over time to help that happen?
That's a great question. I would say what I said. We're willing to sit down with anybody and try to work through. I don't think you can comment on one issue in a vacuum, but we're willing to sit down with the city. And I think we can work with the city really well on a lot of different issues, but you got to sit down and talk first.
But such a cash offer hasn't been made yet.
There were offers made earlier. The talks were put on hold. Hopefully the talks will put up again. It will pick up again shortly, and it'd be inappropriate for me to say anything else.
Are you willing to pay to demolish the existing stadium?
I don't want to make that comment in a vacuum. I mean,
We haven't sat down with them.
let's
so
sit down and see what all the needs are, how else we
We're-
might be able to help, etc. I mean, I don't think you can fault our involvement in the community. Okay.
The talk here is centered on the huge cost, $2.4 billion to build the stadium. Where are you in terms of how we see the bills on Gateway that come up, when it's 20, 30 years old? So
Yeah.
Where's that money going to come from?
Yeah, we read your column yesterday. I'll say this, and I know I sound like a broken record. If all three teams will work together on a quote syntax, that can be solved.
You talked about not wanting to put anything over on the people of Cleveland and Northeast Ohio. How much do you envision PSLs being part of the ticketing structure once you get to that point?
Good question. The whole pricing of the stadium and marketing of the stadium is something we're working on, and I think we'll have a better feel for that in the next 6 to 12 months.
Steve, this might be a better
Last
question
one
for you
here.
to address this briefly. A lot of people, including the county executives, I shouldn't say a lot of people, some people, including the county executive, are saying Dome's going to be a flop. What's your response to that?
We have the really smart people involved in the process, and everybody is very excited about it, and we're getting calls on people wanting to be part of the development around it. So we feel really excited about it. It's kind of a front door to Cleveland when you look at it. When you land at the airport or when you drive in, you're going to be passing by that development in the Dome Stadium. It's going to be the only one in Ohio. It's really one of the few Dome stadiums on the East Coast. So we're incredibly optimistic and excited about it. So thanks, everybody. Really appreciate it. Glad you're here at camp.
All right. Thanks. Thank you. Thank you.